I'm Tara Babcock here with Zoomin.tv Games, and today we're going to talk about the epic movie series Mad Max and how it's finally coming to gaming platforms. So, what is your name and what is your title?
Hi, I'm Andreas Krari. I'm a lead level designer at Avalanche Studios in Stockholm, and I'm here working on Mad Max.
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit about Mad Max for those of us who are not as familiar with it.
Well, Mad Max is obviously set. It's an iconic IP set in a vast wasteland, post-apocalyptic world. The IP was created sort of in the late 70s, early 80s, and it sort of spawned a lot of wasteland games and movies ever since. So for us, it's a dream come true to actually work on the original IP that spawned a lot of these games.
Finally, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the people who are not into the movie series, can they get into the game?
Absolutely. The game is completely standalone. It's not linked to the movies in any way. Timeline-wise, we sort of sit before the new one that's coming out soon, but other than that, we're completely standalone. All the characters are created by us, so the storyline is created by us. Of course, Max is Max.
Absolutely. In the presentation, you guys did say that you were going to make a totally new story and everything like that, but how are you going to stay authentic to the original story?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of knowledge out there on the IP, so there's a certain intellectual property, a certain environment, a certain universe that's already existing, and we basically took all of that, we looked at it, and we looked at it from an art style and things like that, and then we crafted a story that we felt would fit that particular universe.
Awesome. So this is going to be an open world game, but can you tell me a little bit about how you can keep that interesting when it's like a barren wasteland?
Well, we're Avalanche Studios. We've been crafting open world games for more than a decade now, and I think that's, if you look at some of the previous games we've done, we've kept people entertained for hours on end. Obviously, this is slightly different. Mad Max is going to be, it's narrative based, and it has a very, very deep narrative storyline that goes with it, which will span over several hours, but we're trying to use the wasteland itself as a fantastic open world, and you know, we're crafting a lot along the driving lines of things. So we really want the player to take the car and experience the wasteland, and we just play a lot of fun gameplay on that.
Absolutely, it's very unique to have this open world with not too much stuff going on, so you can have those fights with the cars and stuff. So let's talk about the cars. You said there was going to be 50 authentic Mad Max cars as well as your own car that you can customize. Tell me a little bit about the customization as well as the physics that go into the cars.
Well, I mean, the main player car is the Magnum Opus. It's a creation by Chumbucket, who's a character that Max runs into. And that car is highly customizable. We have 7 or 8 different attributes that you can customize on the car. And then everybody in between, every attribute has several layers on that as well. What we really spend a lot of time and effort on is to make sure that every single attribute actually has an impact on the car. So we want the players to be able to take the cars in the direction they want to go. So if someone likes to drive really fast and not worry too much about armor, they can create a lighter car with a big engine and good boost. And they'll be slightly weaker in car combat, so they have to focus on other aspects like weaponry. But if someone just likes to ram, then what they can do is they put a big ram on it, put some armor on it. And obviously that means the car will be behaving differently in the sand. So it's about mixing and matching of what the player wants to have.
I'm all for player preference. So Absolutely. Tell me how you can get the items to upgrade this. Is it just something you have and you can create, or do you actually have to find these things?
It's the wasteland is all about scavenging. You know, it's post-apocalyptic, so people are few and far between, and there isn't really a vehicle store you can go to anymore. So Max makes do. He goes into enemy locations, he goes into enemy camps, and he finds items that he can use, and that's where Chumbucket comes in, the mechanic. He'll be like, yeah, get me that, and I can, you know, work on an engine, or I can upgrade the armor. And a lot of the upgrades you see on the car will look makeshift, like the armor and the ramming. It'll be welded together, so it's clear that it's makeshift. They make do with whatever they find.
So let's talk a little bit about the weapons. Of course, we have the Mad Max authentic shotgun right there, but what else? We saw a lot of cool things in the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, the shotgun was a given for us. That is iconic, and apart from that, we'll have different weaponry on the car. So we'll have a harpoon launcher, which you've also seen in the demonstration. You'll have a sniper rifle, which is also mounted towards the car, and then there's quite a large array of melee weapon and things that the player can pick up from enemy types. So one of the things you saw in the presentation is what we call a thunderstick launcher, or a thunderstick ammunition. So that is quite explosive, and then there's a knife as well as other melee weapons.
What are some perks that you get from working with next-gen engines and stuff like that?
Well, the easy answer to that is obviously more computing power, more GPU power, more CPU power, as well as more memory. So for us, it's fantastic because we can really optimize our engine towards that. We're already using a proprietary engine that's been powering some of our previous games, and we've stepped that up on all the platforms. But obviously, the next gen does give us a little bit of an edge in some areas.
All right, thank you for the interview and thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Goodbye.